first told about the CPAA assessment that we would be doing, you know, we all thought, oh, it's another thing to do. And so the way we looked at it is not reinventing the wheel, that we're just went ahead and improved some of the ideas we already do. Like the things that I'm going to talk about are the smartboard activities that we use and our literacy tubs that we have. So we just took the information after giving the assessment and improved some of the activities that we do. One of the main ways that we're able to be so successful at this stuff is that we have an awesome team. It says it takes teamwork. That, as in parentheses, that is what teacher shares for. If you look at our teacher shared, there's not one thing that we don't create that we don't put it where all of us can get a hold of it. Last year, of course, it was our first year for our school, and we got in there and we had these wonderful smart boards, had no idea what to do with them. Thank you to Laura Mill Elementary for allowing us to come and see how they use their smart boards. So then we took that. Within our kindergarten shared, we have all different stuff for the different things that we do, but also we have a folder for smartboard. Then we, within our smartboard, have split it into different things that we have each week, or as we have just a literacy one and a math one. But for example, right now when we did winter, which our lovely Allison is in love with winter, so we have lots about winter. We have inside winter, we have literacy activities, math activities, and social studies. So within the themes, we then split it into literacy and math. It took a lot of time to make these folders, but once we have them now, we have them and we use them regularly. So with literacy, when we did the CPAA and looking at the literacy stuff, with my group, some of the things that they really needed help with was phonics and writing and reading. So I then, if you go on the CPAA, as they showed us last time, it has the page with the activities. Well, instead of just creating the activities, we use it with our smartboard. So for example, one was talking about word assembling. So we have a folder called just words. And the kids, we do this is our activities, we would do whole group. And we have one that was created making words. Okay. So the way we would do it, we have the picture, and then we talk about the picture and the sounds, kind of as they were talking about with the group that had the actual people. And so then they would come up and we would talk about putting the words together. And so we have the different ones. So that was one way to practice making words. Another one, we have a lot with the beginning sounds. We have different folders where we can practice just beginning sounds, beginning, ending sounds. And so with that, we then have the sorts. We have one where we do the beginning sound sorts, and at the top of the page, as it loads, there will be different pictures. So as you see, when we talk about bird, well, what sound do we hear at the beginning? We hear the b. So then we would look down here for other pictures that would go along with that. And the kids themselves would come up to the smartboard and drag it up into the category. And then we would talk about a whole group. If someone were to say mirror, well, is it going to go under the bird? Does that sound like the same? Or would it go with the mittens in different ways? So that's how we kind of do. We use our smartboard for a lot of our whole group work. We have very big classes this year. We each have 25, 26, 25. So we do a lot of stuff to try to be able to work with them smaller. We have tubs. Well, obviously with such big numbers, we can't just make groups where they're with the same levels. So within that, after we've done our whole group stuff and we go to our tubs, at our tables, for my class, we at their tables they have different levels at our tables, but inside their tubs we differentiate the tubs. So they're at their tables together so that the higher ones can help the lower ones. But then when it's time to work in their tubs, my class is the Sesame Street kids. So they know when they go in their tubs, they look for their picture. If you're not in Elmo group, do you go in this bag? No, your picture is not on it. If you're not in the Grover group, do you go in this bag? No. And then they have been taught that if there is no picture on the bag, who gets to go in the bag? Everyone can go in the bag. And that's the way that we, at their tables, differentiate. So like my Grover group, they are my precious little babies who are still learning their letters, who are still learning how to speak English. So they are just recognizing letters. However, my Elmo group is the group that is higher and is ready to work on making words. So they have the flashcards where they are taking them and putting them together to make words. So that's it, I guess. And then we've made a sheet that talks about different activities that you can make to put in your tools. One of them.
Another way that we try to use the CPAA, I just started this last month, was I found that I had a lot of parents either who were not interested in doing homework or who were worried that the homework was either too hard or not hard enough for their child. And I was trying to find a way that I wasn't having to make 50 different packs every week to differentiate homework. So I looked at the results of the CPAA on the activities page and found that how after it states activity it tells you all the students who need to work on that activity. So I looked at the common grouping of kids and tried to see where different groups of kids fell for a lot of things. And instead of creating their homework on a weekly basis, I created 3 different homework charts for February, all based on those same set of skills, but where they needed to be working on those skills. So now, a certain group has homework calendar A, B, and C, but each calendar is really working on things that that child needs to work on. I used to try to make it all correlate with whatever we were doing in the classroom, but found that these were basic skills that they really needed to have that I, can't work on personally with 26 kids in my class. So I thought, well, let me give it off on the parents and let them help me to teach those skills at home. So by differentiating those homework charts, now my higher students are really getting what they need, but it's based off of the assessment from the CPAA. So when a parent says to me, why are they working on this activity, I can say, well, if you look at their CPAA assessment, it says that they could not blend sounds, that they needed hints, or this is an area they needed working, and it gives them the activities to do that. These are just 2 of the activities from the CPAA that Allison just handed out. Activity 1 was the dominoes, and then it's just the directions of what you can do. These are just the activities that are listed in the CPAA, but it breaks it down and tells you how to do that. And then within those, you can definitely differentiate for your independent groups. And with the smart board,
Sure.
So this is homework calendar A, and I tried to make it a pattern to make it easier for me. Like on Mondays, it was always numeracy and listening. On Tuesdays, it's always some type of measurement and phonemic writing. Wednesdays, patterns and functions, phonemic awareness, and Thursdays, operations and reading. So that, next month when I go back to do it again, I can look in those same areas and pick different activities for those students to work on. And this was the A. These are my kids who are still needing a lot of help in a lot of areas, but, of course, B and C move on to different categories. And then these were just activity ideas for you to use with your groups. Is that all?